You talk to chatbots every day. You Google things every day. You read books, articles, texts every single day. So answer me this. Why is all of that text sitting in one narrow block in the middle of your screen? Why is there so much empty space on either side doing nothing? Why doesn't the text just spread across the whole screen? Well, the short answer is it's easier to read. But you need to understand why it's easier to read and why this exact same idea shows up in a scroll that's over 2,000 years old. Okay, so when you read, your eyes don't glide smoothly across a line. They jump in quick bursts called saccades, pausing briefly at each word cluster called a fixation, then snapping back to the start of the next line called the return sweep. Line length directly affects how well this works. If a line is too long, your eye loses track of which line it's on, making the return sweep harder and increasing the odds you reread the same line or skip one. If a line is too short, you're forced into a return sweep after every couple of words, breaking your reading rhythm and eating up more total eye movements. So somewhere in between those two extremes, there's a range that works better. Typographers measured it, and it consistently lands between 50 and 75 characters on a line, with 66 characters showing up again and again as the number that feels the most comfortable. That's the mechanism. But nobody invented that number. People just kept landing on it centuries apart for completely different reasons. Over 2,000 years ago, a scribe copying scripture onto one of the Dead Sea Scrolls could have written it as one giant, unbroken line. The scroll is over 24 feet long. Nothing was stopping him. Instead, he split it into more than 50 narrow columns. 13 centuries later, Gutenberg printed his famous Bible the same way. 2 narrow columns a page, because he was copying the handwritten style monks had already been using for ages. And centuries after that, newspapers landed in that same narrow range too, mostly because paper was expensive, and this layout let them place ads between the stories. Comfort was a side effect, not the goal. 3 completely different eras, same instinct every time. Nobody ever wrote the rule down, they just kept bumping into it. That number is still running the show right now, everywhere you look. The next book you pick up, the next article you read tomorrow, the next app you scroll through tonight. All of it sitting inside that same narrow range. That empty space on either side is the part of the design actually doing the work. So next time you notice all that wasted space around a block of text, it's not wasted. It's a habit humans have never quite been able to stop repeating for over 2,000 years. You just never had a reason to notice it until now. If this story hooked you, you might want to stick around. Hit subscribe, there's plenty more on the way.